Welcome back to the gun bench. Today we're going to be taking a look at a very strange American gun. So this is an F.E. Boyd and P.S. Tyler Spindle Breech shotgun. So the time between 1860 to 1880, there was just a myriad of different opening mechanisms and actions for side-by-side shotguns. So a lot of shotguns, they would have the two barrels, right? But they would have multiple different ways of opening them. So we've seen trigger openers where you press the front trigger. There's underlifter mechanisms. I have a video on a side swing where the barrels actually will swing out to the side. There's the Ethan Allen trapdoor where the gun will open like a trapdoor rifle. There's just a myriad of different things going on because it hasn't been decided yet what the side-by-side shotgun action is going to look like coming out of the muzzleloader era. Now this one was not successful. You're not going to find these in new production at all, but it is very interesting. So F.E. Boyd and P.S. Tyler, they existed for about 10 years in Massachusetts. They're out of Boston. So if we take a look at this gun here, you see right there, F.E. Boyd, P.S. Tyler. The patent is from 1868. The guns weren't actually made until 1871, and they ceased production in 1881. So this gun was made in 1878. If we actually take a look here, it's actually all over the gun. You'll see the serial number there, 537. And the reason I have this book out, this Joseph T. Voracek, he actually has a pretty good breakdown of known manufacturer dates based on serial number for these guns. But the reason this gun is so interesting is it was part of the evolution of the side-by-side shotgun. So most guns, they have a top lever and the barrels will just rotate down, right? This gun, however, is completely different. So it has a thumb opener. So Lefevre had these. You also see these on some side swings. It's very similar to those, but it has a thumb opener, and then the barrels actually rotate 360 degrees. But before we even take this gun apart and open it, I want to show you the gun a little bit. It's in very, very good condition for as old as it is, for being as old as it is. So the barrels are in good shape. Checkering is strong. I think the checkering has been rechased at some point, freshened up. I don't know about the case coloring. I don't know if that's been restored. It may have been. It's got a pretty nice piece of wood. It has a solid metal butt plate on it. Wood to metal finish is pretty good. Nothing too ornate in the straight stock there. Just basic metal work there. No fancy engraving or anything. Barrels are made in Belgium. But the gun is in great shape. It has 29 3/4 inch barrels. That is actually pretty standard for these guns. So this is a 10 gauge. Most of the known models of 10 gauges have the 29 3/4 inch barrels. That is normal. Now, for this gun, you'll see that the hammers here, the side plate that it's on, you don't see these elongated side plates on very many American guns. My thought is I haven't taken this fully apart. I've only had this gun a couple days. If I take this apart, I may find some English marks on it. I imagine it was made in England. But this is why this gun is interesting here. It's the mechanism for opening and loading. So if we take a look, we have a thumb opener. If we pull this back, you can actually rotate the stock a full 360 degrees. And you don't have to re-engage this to allow it to open. So if we take a look here, you'll see that every time I move the thumb lever, it's just a little spring actuated piece here. I'll connect in, but there are notches in either side here that will allow the gun, when it's twisted around, or when you go to push it back in, voila, you don't have to touch anything, locks back in tight. You'll notice here too that these pieces here help to secure the barrels to the actual action of the gun. See how they lock in there, lock in place very tight, so there can be no movement. You might be wondering, what the heck are these things? Well, those are actually the extractors. So if we open this guy up, if there were a shell in here, and you can kind of see why this might have gone out of favor. It is very, very hard to load these because you run into the trigger guard. There's really not enough space to get in there. But this is the extractor. So you actually have to manually press these back each time. Now, I have full brass holes from Track of the Wolf, and I have a ton of plastic holes. My brass holes, even unfired ones, will not fit in these chambers. They're too tight. So I have this unloaded Remington hole here. It is primed, but it is unloaded. So check this out. If I turn this over and I load the Remington hole, it is very, very hard to get this thing closed. You have to make sure it's very, very tight in there, and it still might not close. I've noticed this with many of my shells. The tolerances are so tight. And to get it out, you have to press this guy really hard, the extractor, and it'll pull it out. Then you run into the issue of, oh my goodness, how do I get this thing out of here? Because you can't really load both at the same time from the same place. You have to keep finagling this thing around to load it. I have been able to get it flush. I'm going to have to play around with this because I will hunt with this at some point. Or shoot it at clays at least, because that's just what I do. But if you do have one of these, just something to be aware of. If the hammers are at the down position, you're not going to be able to open this because the firing pins will be pushed through and they'll protrude through and you won't be able to twist it. So just be aware of that. It needs to be at half cock to be able to rotate the barrels. So I'm actually going to take this gun apart. I'm going to show you because you can actually adjust the space here, which will probably allow me to get more shells in, but then it's going to leave a gap. Because you can adjust how far off this is from the face with a little bit of work here. So this is really interesting because this is the first gun that I've owned where I literally need a wrench to take it apart. So that comes right on off. Now take a look at this spindle breech here. So here's the spindle breech. It actually has a set screw here that holds this in place. You'll notice everything's clearly marked. It's in very good condition. So if you were to open this, you can see how that rotates. It's not going to go anywhere. You can adjust how tight this is by adjusting your set screw. Now, for this one, I'm assuming it's the same for the others. You need a 1/4 inch wrench to be able to open it. Doesn't take much force. You can take this guy off. I didn't have the set screw fully in here super tight because I know I need to adjust it. But this set screw on the end, you can actually adjust how tight this is going to be on here. Because under recoil, I'm sure this will work out. But once you get that off, you can pull some of these little lock type washers out. And once you've pulled one, you can pull the whole spindle breech out. Let's take a look there. It's all one part. The thing is in immaculate condition. I'm sure it's been touched up over time. I don't know how much it's been restored. I don't particularly care. But in any case, here's that spindle. And you can adjust how tight it is on this to determine how close the two faces will mate, which I am going to have to play with that a lot because I cannot get shells to stay in here and extract at all, really. It's really, really annoying. But so we can just see this a little easier. Here are the extractors. You could pull two at once, but you're not going to be able to get them out. See this? It's spring actuated. And it shoots on back. The face of this, if I can get it to the camera here, the bench is full of things. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit. So we're taking a look here. Is this on the rim? Pull that out, and that's how you extract. So if the shell's expanding here quite a bit, it's going to be a little annoying for me to get them out. So I don't see this gun as being a very quick reload. So whatever I'm shooting at, hopefully I hit it. And I don't need to take any shots, any follow-up shots, or anything like that, because it'll be an issue. Now putting it back together is very simple. You just got to make sure these are in the correct places, which of course this one now is not. That's the way I did this. But yeah, if you saw, there's a little cutout here. It's the same thing for this one. There's a little piece that goes into the ring on the barrel, the lug on the barrels. If I can get it to go in here. Let me see. Of course, now I got a camera rolling. I can't get this thing to go together well. The figures. There we go. Got it in. But it's a pretty ingenious little design. You can see why it really fell out of favor, because it is not quick for reloading. It's really not practical at all. But it's a pretty cool part of American firearm development and development around the world. Because you got to remember, in the 1860s and 1870s, they had not yet determined what the side-by-side shotgun was going to be. We're coming out of the muzzle loading era. And cartridges are really just becoming the rage. So people haven't decided, well, how are we going to open these? And we take it for granted now, because it seems obvious to us. Oh, well, the way we're going to open it is you're going to use a top lever, it's going to disengage, and the barrel's going to break down. Well, this was before that was really an option. So see, this moves pretty well. Eventually, I'll have to fine tune it so I can actually get shells in it, because I would like to shoot this thing. Until the inlighting's pretty nice. Well done, checkering strong. I don't know if you could hear that. My GSP is probably chasing my Feist right up above us. But in any case, getting it apart is not hard. It's pretty simple. It's going to be pretty easy to clean. I'm not going to be the first one to booger these screws. But again, this is an F.E. Boyd, so Francis E. Boyd, and P.S. Tyler, P. Shelton Tyler, Spindle Breech, made in Boston. This one was made in 1878. They were made for 10 years, 1871 to 1881. This gun is in phenomenal shape. This is like museum shape. But don't worry, I'll get it out. I will shoot it. It's a pretty gun. It's cool. This full 360 is like, you can't, like, you can tell here, like, you can't load it here because of the trigger guard. You can get like one shell in. You have to move it a little bit to get the other shell in. There's no place where you can load and unload two at the same time. Not easily, at least. Because you got to remember, you also have to pull these extractors, which makes it a little complicated. But a little bit of a cumbersome gun. It actually doesn't weigh much. I'm going to have to put it on the scale. I apologize, I haven't done that yet. It balances really well. The 29 3/4-inch barrels, I'll measure the thickness on these. They look good. Chambers look good. There's no pitting in it. It may have been reamed, but it looks like there's pretty adequate wall thickness in it. But I do plan on shooting this guy. There aren't a ton of these out there. If you find one, like, pick them up. Like, this is a pretty cool piece of Americana. Now, I'm missing a few of the actions. I'll get to them eventually. I have tried to get 7 or 8 Ethan Allens, but I'm never willing to pay the price for them. But this F.E. Boyd and P.S. Shelton, I'm sorry, P.S. Tyler, is probably one of the nicest guns in my collection. Definitely the rarest. There's not a ton of these around, especially in this shape. But again, this is a 10 gauge made in 1878. It's choked, improved modified, 29 3/4-inch uncut barrels. And it's a beautiful piece of American history. So again, if you find these, check them out. It's a weird part of the evolution of the side-by-side shotgun. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this. If you do have these old guns, try to keep them alive, pass them on. Don't let them fade into obscurity. Don't let them rot away, because this is it's a cool part of our American history, especially if you're a wing shooter or shotgun shooter.